at 10 across the Northeast, the wildfire smoke from Canada seems to have lifted, but it's expected to make a return this weekend, and there's a threat for severe weather too. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Priscilla Meza. Let's get right over to meteorologist Sam Sampieri with what to expect this weekend. Sam, a lot to go over.
That's right, Priscilla. First of all, I'll get going with the air quality alert. I want to show the extent of it again. From Minneapolis to the Great Lakes, Chicago, Cincinnati, all the way to the East Coast, from Washington, D.C. up the Maine coast. So this is a big event. And again, we're going to do it all over with the high thickness of the smoke plumes moving right back over us. Right now, the air quality is pretty good here, good to moderate. So I think we're going to have that air quality alert all day tomorrow, midnight to midnight. And yet we start out now good to moderate, but it is going to go to unhealthy sensitive groups. It will not get that bad to unhealthy for everybody. Main reason is because we have clouds and a front and some turbulent weather on the way. Before I get all to that, just quickly here, I want to show you what's going to happen tomorrow morning. Look at how thick. We're going to get a very thick veil of that smoky sky tomorrow morning. So you're going to wake up tomorrow a little bit more humid, and also that smoky sky. And then look what the smoky sky, the front pulls all that out of the way. And we got some strong storms on the way, potentially. Temperatures right now are in the 60s to near 70. Visibility is okay. Dew points are all right, 55 to 60. Not much in the way of wind. So again, tonight, tomorrow, we're going to have partly cloudy skies, mild to muggy. And for tomorrow, stormy day in the afternoon and evening. Very humid in the 70s to near 80. I will detail those storms, how much rain, what you can expect moving forward. Second half of the weekend and next week. Priscilla?
Thank you, Sam. Well, you can stay up to date on this weather impact alert and any future ones on the Fox 61 app. There you can find a 24/7 live radar and track the weather as it changes. A community in Vernon came together tonight to mark 3 years since a young mother was killed in a case of domestic violence. Family and advocates held a vigil in honor of Anastasia Paul while also calling for change. Loved ones gathered outside Vernon City Hall this evening, holding candles and sharing memories of the 22-year-old. Paul was killed in 2023 by the father of her child just months after celebrating her son's first birthday and while pregnant with her second child. Her family says she tried to get help before her death, including applying for restraining orders, but faced barriers in the system.
Abdul and Boob went to prison for domestic violence abuse against my sister and then got released and went to kill her. No automatic protective order, no monitoring, no updates. It feels like it's an endless cycle of us women not being protected.
The man responsible has pleaded guilty to murder and is expected to be sentenced later this month. But Paul's family says this fight is far from over as they continue pushing for a law in her name aimed at strengthening protections for domestic violence victims. They're also inviting the public to attend that sentencing hearing on July 28th in support of the family. An apartment complex fire forced dozens of people out of their homes this afternoon in New Haven. Fox 61's Tim Latow has the details on the fire and the harrowing rescue.
Firefighters say when they got on scene, there were large flames and heavy smoke, and some people were even trapped inside. Firefighters on ladders got them out through the windows. Carlina Lee's family has owned their New Haven apartment unit for nearly 6 decades. Now they won't be able to return to it Friday night.
The whole hallway was black. Some people, people were yelling, making sure everyone's getting out.
3 apartment units are completely charred and burned through in this building on Donna Drive, and the roof is caving in after a fire rapidly spread through it. Battalion Chief Patrick Passara says crews found a dangerous situation when they arrived on scene. They had to rescue multiple people.
People were removed by ladder from the windows. On arrival, there's people hanging from windows.
People from 33 units aren't allowed to return home until the repairs can be made. 3 units right above one another took the majority of the damage after Passara says the fire likely started on the first floor.
There's heavy smoke damage, there's definitely water damage, and there's damage from fire directed to 3 units.
Firefighters say the fire started in the kitchen of a first floor apartment. The man who lives there and 1 firefighter were taken to the hospital with burn injuries. Sonia Marie owns multiple units in the building, including the heavily damaged one on the 3rd floor. She knows it'll take a long time for repairs to be made, but the most important thing is everyone is out safe.
I am grateful that the other owners and other tenants in the building, everybody got to walk away from this.
Marie doesn't sell or profit from any renter's insurance policy, but she's seen how families have been affected by fires before. She says having insurance can make all the difference in the financial impact on a family.
Renter's insurance can make the difference between how you are able to start your life over again after a serious incident that may or may not be your fault.
Firefighters say the investigation into the fire is expected to take at least several more days. People affected by the fire have been put up in hotels by the Red Cross, but there's no timeline yet for their return. In New Haven, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
2 Connecticut men face federal charges for narcotics distribution and firearm possession. Officials say a long-term investigation revealed 42-year-old Hector Gonzalez of Ansonia manufactured counterfeit oxycodone and Adderall pills containing fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, and other dangerous drugs. 48-year-old Daryl Edwards of New Haven helped distribute the pills in Connecticut and through the U.S. mail. Authorities say a search of Gonzalez's home revealed pill pressing machines, over 2 kilograms of fentanyl, firearms, diamond jewelry, and $280,000 in cash. Both men remain in federal custody pending trial. A Wethersfield woman has been charged with sexually coercing a minor she met online. 31-year-old Amelie Colin was arrested today after an FBI investigation revealed she initiated a relationship with a 13-year-old boy in New York through the Discord app, sent him sexually explicit material, then picked him up in New York and brought him to her house. The next day, she drove the victim back to New York. She faces multiple charges, each carrying a minimum of 10 years in prison and a maximum of life behind bars. Colin appeared in court today and is being detained. 30 years ago today, July 17th, TWA Flight 800 bound from New York to Paris exploded mid-air. All 230 passengers and crew members died, including 11 people from Connecticut. The crash happened just 12 minutes after takeoff from New York's Kennedy International Airport. Despite a massive FBI investigation, which determined explosives were not to blame, it's not clear what caused the crash. An NTSB report concluded the most likely cause was a short circuit that triggered the explosion. Today, Attorney General William Tong won the dismissal of a lawsuit brought on by the Trump administration. In January, the DOJ filed the lawsuit against Connecticut for refusing to hand over voter registration lists. U.S. District Judge Carrie Dooley dismissed the action, concluding the DOJ has no authority under the Civil Rights Act of 1960 to make such demands. The DOJ filed similar lawsuits against 22 other states. For thousands of people this weekend, the soundtrack of the summer is jazz. The Greater Hartford Festival of Jazz is filling Bushnell Park with live music while also giving people a chance to relax, reconnect, and build community. Fox 61's Kayla Cade gives us a look inside.
People come here with their friends, family, or even by themselves to enjoy jazz music here at Bushnell Park.
Sometimes you got to clear everything out that head. Jazz will do it.
Listening to jazz is one of the few things that lets you stop thinking and just feel. A feeling Michelle Opeso knows all too well.
Just meditate and just focus and close your eyes if you have to. That's it.
She comes to Bushnell Park every year to listen to jazz artists during the Greater Hartford Festival of Jazz.
People come out, you get to see everybody that you haven't seen. You get to see the kids playing safely with the parents around.
The park is filled with thousands of people from all over with their chairs, blankets, and food.
You'll see people that you went to high school with that you haven't seen in like 30, 40 years. And they live in Texas or California or somewhere, and they always come home for the jazz.
Several jazz artists perform throughout the weekend. Across from the stage are different vendors like books and brushes.
I bring the books to Books and Brushes. I bring the art to Books and Brushes.
Meet Candace Donaldson and Jennifer Wilder, two ladies who decided to bring their separate businesses together to create something magical.
Joining creativity and literacy together. And then from there, throughout the year, we kept doing events together.
This is a toucan and a toucan book, and so it brings the art and the literacy together.
People can come over to their jungle-themed tent at the festival to bring books to life.
And they can read a book while they listen to jazz, or they can paint while they listen to jazz.
Opeso wants to remind you, jazz has no age limits.
But some people think jazz is, oh, that's old people. No, it's all ages. You got to get into it, learn something new.
And she invites you to come join in on the fun.
Bring your cooler, bring whatever, your table. Bring your friends, and just enjoy the day.
The festival will go until Sunday, rain or shine. If there's any heavy rain, thunder, or lightning, the show will stop. In Hartford, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
It's an exciting weekend for Hartford as there are several fun events going on, including the U.S. Classic. Some of the best gymnasts from around the country will be in the capital city for the competition. This year's athletes include stars like Jade Carey and Leanne Wong. Fox 61's Selena Arif has more.
These young ladies you see behind me here are some of the rising stars in U.S. gymnastics. They'll be competing in the Hopes Championship, which has been a huge stepping stone in the past for Olympic athletes. With every tuck, handstand, and split, some of these girls are getting one step closer to a huge career marker. While this weekend's competitions will host former Olympic champions, some of these women could also be in that circle someday. The Hopes Championship is for girls in the 11 to 12 and 13 to 14 age groups, and they've came from all over the country to compete. Winners walk away with lots of attention from recruiters and a reputation that puts them in the national spotlight. Sisters Adelie and Audrey Van Grinsven are from Seattle, and they're ready to put in the work to advance their skills and go back home with unforgettable memories.
It's been great here. I'm really happy that I get to enjoy this experience as a first-year junior. So it's really fun for me, and I just want to get out here and have fun.
The competition starts Saturday, and tickets are still available through the arena. In Hartford, Selena Arif, Fox 61.
The fighting in Iran is expanding, but even as President Trump doubles down on airstrikes, his options on the ground could be more complicated. Mike Tobin has more from Tel Aviv.
For the sixth straight day, the U.S. escalated its airstrikes on Iran, but now the target profile is expanding. After weeks of threats, President Trump is now ordering the destruction of bridges, roadways, and port infrastructure near the Strait of Hormuz, hoping to cut off resupply routes for Iran's military and pressure Tehran into backing off the Strait of Hormuz.
I think we're going to squeeze the neck of Iranian military infrastructure around the Strait of Hormuz so that they're not able to sustain their attacks.
At the same time, the president could be looking at limited options if he wants to expand the war, with most experts agreeing a land invasion is not likely at this time.
You're looking at strategic targets. You're not talking about a ground invasion of Iran. You can't get there. It's too hard to do. The country is too large.
The stepped-up attacks are also aimed at pushing Iran back to the bargaining table, and the White House says it's working.
They want to make a deal with us because they are suffering devastating blows on behalf of our United States military.
But the Iranians tell a different story. They say they won't resume talks until the fighting stops, and on Friday, they targeted another civilian ship, part of a strategy to maintain control in the Strait of Hormuz.
The passage of vessels is not important to the U.S. The U.S. is not dependent on the Strait of Hormuz, and Trump has announced it many times.